Welcome to Cusack Park in Ennis for the second of this week's Electric Ireland Fitzgibbon Cup semi-finals. Let's hope it's every bit as exciting as it was on Tuesday night in Waterford when UCC needed extra time to beat DCU Dokeshare. And today it's the turn of Mary Immaculate College of Limerick against NUI Galway, who haven't got to a final since 2010. A former NUI Galway student and twice an All-Ireland winner with Clare, Jamesy O'Connor, joins me for today. Jamesy, UCG as it was known back then when you played for them a long time ago, but you have great memories of playing in the Electric Ireland Fitzgibbon Cup, no doubt.
Great memories, Oisín. I mean, it's an unbelievably important competition, I think, in a player's development, and it certainly was in mine. And I had 4 great years in Galway. No success, unfortunately, came up short. But you know, as I said, I learned a lot along the way.
Yeah, you don't just judge your time playing for your college or in the Electric Ireland Fitzgibbon Cup by the medals and the silverware you win, do you?
You don't, and I mean, look at the friendships you make, I suppose, the camaraderie, the shared there were a couple of hugely important characters that I bumped into along the way. I mean, Tony Regan, the horse, is a legendary character in Galway. Tony Og, his son, is carrying on that tradition now. He's involved with Jeff in the backroom team. And obviously, in 1993, I was captain and approached this guy in the economics department called Eamon O'Shea to coach us, and we all know what he went on to, and he had a massive influence on my career. So, yeah, as I said, we didn't have success, we didn't win it, but we came close in '94. We'd beaten by UL after extra time. They went on and won it, and that's one that I certainly feel possibly got away.
It's funny, we spoke to Tommy Walsh on Tuesday night, and he's won everything in the game except a Fitzgibbon Cup, and it still rankles with him. It seems to be the same with you.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Brian Lohan and Sean McMahon were on that team, and look at both sides were laden with quality players. Fergal Hartley was playing with them. Kenneth Brennan was midfielding. Tom Fives was playing with us. We had guys who went on and won our Ireland clubs with my own club, Dury Bearfield. Slorkin Hass was in the panel. Andrew Whelan. And a lot of guys who were really, really good, solid players as well. So, yeah, it's certainly a regret of mine, because, as I said, we were close. We potentially could have won it. And Lohan and Shawnee, as I said, remind me every now and again that they have a medal that I don't.
We're quite literally in the thick of it here, as you can see. Mary I absolutely surrounding us. I hope the shoulders and elbows are still sharp, Jamesy. We may need them. Going back to your own playing days, though, you mentioned Eamon O'Shea there. You met him in or around 1993. How soon did you realise that you were dealing with a kind of a very special hurling brain when you met Eamon?
I suppose really look at it within the first year, probably. It was probably, to be honest with it, after I left Galway. I mean, obviously forged a great friendship with Eamon, but even when I left Galway, I'd pick up the phone from time to time, maybe struggling for form, wondering if there was something way I could improve my game. And Eamon was always at the end of the phone, and always had that empathy and that ability just to make sense of things that maybe I couldn't. And the Tipperary players will still speak, I suppose, about those same attributes, just that empathy, that ability to think as a forward. And what he taught me in terms of space and movement and decision making, I wouldn't have achieved maybe some of the success that I did achieve without his influence. There's no question about that.
And I think it's fair to say as well, you and a couple of your teammates wouldn't have achieved what you achieved with Clare if it wasn't for Fitzgibbon Cup hurling.
Absolutely. I mean, look, Brian Lohan was player of the tournament in '94. He was phenomenal at cornerback for UL, and I think Sean McMahon was wing back in that team. And listen, there's a lot of other great players that have come through that would say that, listen, performing in that environment, with the intensity the competition is played with, at the pace it's played with, the physicality it's played with. I think even inter-county managers now, when there's a lot of talk about how this competition is treated, I think you learn more about a guy on a day like today than you will in a training session or a meaningless challenge match with your county. And I think this is a real testing ground for players. And you only have to listen to, as I said, the JJ Delaney's, the Tommy Walsh's, the Ryan Lohans, great players, and how highly they value the competition to appreciate. It's still got a hugely vital place, I think, in terms of the hurling scene.
It's a really interesting point you make about learning from days like these and learning about guys on days like these. What do you learn? What specifically do you look out for?
I think just character, because the conditions are going to be probably slower. I mean, it's played in invariably January, February, March. The going is heavier. There's a premium probably on physicality, and questions are asked of you. As a forward, you can't get away from maybe guys the same way or as easy as you would maybe when the ball is flying around at 100 miles an hour during the summer. So it's a test of your character. It's a test of your manliness, your physicality and your ability to function under pressure in tough conditions in a big game situation. And both panels are laden with players that have played obviously inter-county minor, under 21, and a lot of these guys will go on and probably play senior for their counties as well as obviously the marquee names, the Aaron Gallans, the Conor Whelans that we're going to see taking the field today.
You mentioned there bringing your form into your county team. We saw that last year with some of the Limerick players who had played Fitzgibbon for UCD and LIT and UL. And that's exactly what they did. I mean, Seamus Flanagan played with UCD, and he talked about it last week. He was on our coverage of Mary I against the Cork Institute of Technology. He spoke about how the Fitzgibbon kind of was the jumping off platform for his fine year, which ended with the Celtic Cross.
Yeah, now listen, if you can perform in this environment, Oisín, it gives you a confidence that you can take, into the county scene. That listen, if you can cut it on, marking, the top class players, that whether it's the Mark Colemans or, I could keep going, the Conor Whelans, the Aaron Gallans. You're going to, it can only be good for you in terms of, where you are as a player. And as I said, the standard, like this is a high standard. And guys, this still means a lot to the players involved. And, they're going to have to be at their best to perform today. And as I said, the conditions are a leveller, and some of them are key names find the going tougher and will play better for their counties during the summer than they will play maybe in the Fitzgibbon Cup semi-finals in the stage we're on today.
We are in Ennis today for the Electric Ireland Fitzgibbon Cup semi-final, the second of the semi-finals. You mentioned conditions there. The pitch here is an absolutely supreme condition considering the time of year it is, and obviously we're in a county ground. Does that make it easier for the players to perform, or does that put more pressure on them? What effect does that have? Listen,
I think it probably makes it easier because conditions, the underfoot conditions, Oisín, are excellent, as good as you're going to get anywhere in the country at this time of the year. They've done a great job on the pitch here. They've, traditionally they wear issues with it. They've got it sorted, and it's been immaculate all winter, so there'll be no excuses there. Good players want to play in good pitches. They want to play in these kind of grounds. There's a decent crowd in. There'll be an atmosphere here. And as I said, I think it'll bring the best out of both teams, and that's what we want to see.
Let's talk about the two teams today. I mean, stars all over. It should be a really good game.
It should, yeah. I mean, okay, you look maybe at the NUIG team and you say, listen, Conor Whelan is obviously the standout name, but Jeff Linsky's over them. There's an awful lot of that 2015 Galway All-Ireland minor winning team, taking the field today. Jack Fitz, Brian Concannon, Evan Island is a really, really good player, been racking up big tallies, excellent on the frees. And at the other end of the pitch, obviously Galan, is the key marquee name. We all know how good he was last year, and he's carried that form into the Fitzgibbon, given some of the tallies that he's put up. I think 116 was it against CIT. He's been phenomenal. But there's a lot of good young players. Gary Cooney is a guy from Clare that we've very, very high hopes for. Had a great underage pedigree. We know how young Gilfoyle has done in the Munster campaign, the Munster League, and obviously has started well in the league as well. So look at a lot of good young players, and as I said, some of these guys are guys that we're going to hear more about going forward in years to come.
Okay, more about this game in just a few moments. It is the Fitzgibbon Cup semi-final between Mary Immaculate College and NUI Galway. The winners of this will go on to face UCC in the final. How did UCC get to the final? Well, dramatically is the way I'd put it. On Tuesday night, they met a very, very good DCU Dokasharan team who of course were finalists last year, and they played out a bit of an epic in Waterford. Derek McGrath was on analysis for us. Moves it off to Carla, and that's a cracking goal! Or for a cracking move!
Yeah, what an absolutely brilliant goal from David Garland. A fantastic move from DCU, moved the ball.
Even Cohen surging on with crossfield ball. They might be in again here. Moved off, goal coming surely, and it's finished off really well. Trying to shake off his man as Reap offloads it. Rooney. Reap back inside. Galligan. That's caressed over. That's a perfect point.
Absolutely, and that's a much better score. That's what I was talking about.
It's Evan O'Carroll who struck his frees really well last week. Got a good goal from play as well. Will he get one from a penalty this week? Oh, yes he will, and emphatically so.
Yeah, brilliantly struck penalty, very confident.
Moves it off to Carla, and that's a cracking goal! Or for a cracking move!
Yeah, what an absolutely brilliant goal from David Garland. A fantastic move from DCU.
Welcome back to Cusack Park in Ennis for this Electric Ireland Fitzgibbon Cup semi-final. Let's have a look at the teams. Mary Immaculate College, who had a very good win against Cork Institute of Technology in the last round. Luke Meade, if you allow him, Jamesy, will dance all over the place and he'll cut through. Thomas Monaghan, if he gets space anywhere around the middle, he'll shoot over points. Thomas Grimes is excellent in defence and he can launch balls forward as well and get scores, while Guilfoyle and Cooney can work off breaks. I mean, there's quite an array of talent in that team.
There is, and you'd imagine that Jeff Linsky would have a plan for Galan, that he'll be marked quite tightly. So it's up to the other guys to make sure that they're making their contribution on the board. Cooney's a guy that takes watching. As I said, played Clare Minor for a couple of years. Really good, strong on the ball, good finisher. And as I said, Colin Guilfoyle, physical presence as well on the edge of the square. So plenty of firepower, you'd imagine, in that Mary I attack.
Owen Cahill as well, the goalkeeper, can launch balls right from the back up into his own forward line, and he's a good long-range free taker. David Prendergast of Waterford looks a full-back, and that's very important in the modern game, isn't it, Jamesy?
It is, and you'd imagine that Whelan might spend some time on the edge of the square, so he'll have to be alive to the threat that he presents. Again, look at conditions, as I said, Oisin are pretty perfect. I mean, there's a bit of a breeze. Imagine it's kind of blown down into the scoreboard end, the old scoreboard end. But as I said, underfoot conditions are absolutely perfect. And as I said, it's a big, wide open field, Oisin. This isn't, Dangan in Galway or the Marlack in Cork. Conditions, as I said, couldn't be any better than they are. And hopefully, as I said, that's going to add to the quality of the game that hopefully we're going to get in front of us now.
He's so important, the man we just saw there, Aaron Galan. Let's have a look at the NUI Galway team, because they've got some strike runners as well. Brian Concannon capable of getting scores from the middle of the field. Conor Whelan will bulldoze through if he's let. Evan Nyland will punish any indiscipline that Mary I might go through, because he is an expert free taker. And we talked about David Prendergast being a fullback. Jack Fitzpatrick looks to the manner born in that number 3 jersey.
Yeah, and again, you'd imagine that Galan could be in there at some stage. So, Jeff will have a plan for him, and Jack Fitzpatrick, plenty of experience in the position, has not Ireland minor medals with Galway. Good solid player, and a guy I'm sure that Micheál Donoghue, who I think is somewhere in the stand, would be keeping a very close eye on.
Cyril Farrell here as well as Tommy Guilfoyle, some greats here. It is NUI Galway against Mary Immaculate College in the Electric Ireland Fitzgibbon Cup semi-final. We pause now for Aaron Naveen. We're almost ready to go in the Electric Ireland Fitzgibbon Cup semi-final. What dramatics we had at the WIT Sports Arena on Tuesday night. No doubt you saw them just before the game, and we hope for more today. Obviously NUI Galway in the mostly maroon jerseys, and Mary Immaculate College in the bluey purple jersey. I'm sure there's a more accurate term to use for that jersey colour wise, but I struggle with colours. Would we say turquoise, Jamesy?
Oh, I think it's a pretty straight blue with that
blue. Okay, fair enough. I should have just said blue.
Little bit of red trim.
Yeah, blue with red trim. There we go.
Just seen Philip Hickey already is out at midfield. Number 15 in his back.
Philip Hickey is a good man to break tackles and get scores as well. And all of these players are. Johnny Ryan, by the way, from Tipperary, is our referee.
Just Paul Hoban as well has moved out from the centre back position to take a land. So probably there's do a man marking job on him.
So here we go. Who is going to meet UCC in the final? We should find out over the next 60 minutes or maybe more, because we had more the other night. High ball gone into the forwards of the Mary I team, and Galan goes after it. Galan goes to ground under pressure from Hooven, and it's a free in.
Yeah, and I think no doubt about it. Initially, I think Paul Hovan thought he might have got away with that push on Galan, but Johnny Ryan, I think, just delayed blowing it for a fraction just to see would play develop. But pretty much a cast iron free, and Galan will open his account with this one because he's not going to get an easier free than this one. Straightforward, dead in front of the post, about 30 metres out.
That used to be known as the scoreboard end. Now both ends have a scoreboard. One is digital, one is not. So into the old scoreboard end, as we'll call it. The breeze is against him, but it shouldn't make a difference, and doesn't. Galan opens his account, Mary I opened their account.
And it's always nice, the free taker rushing, to get one early, and particularly an easy one like that.
What can NUI Galway do by way of response? They're aiming it down towards Mikey Lynch. Stuck to him is Craig Morgan of Tipperary. To their credit, NUI Galway do win the ball to Nyland, the joint captain, looking for Conor Sheedy, who scored 1-1 in the last game at LIT. Onto it now is Concannon. Concannon gets his strike away under pressure. Concannon gets a really good score. Or does he?
Yeah, to me it looked over, rushing.
Well, we had a controversial moment like that
the other night.
They just forgot to wave the flag. But that one was definitely over, no doubt about it. No controversy about it.
And a great ball across from Nyland. He's a really, really good player. And again, that early touch, good ball across, wouldn't have done his confidence any harm.
Scramble on, throwing the shoulder in, Sean Kennedy of Clare. This a Limerick College against a Galway College, but so many counties represented, including Grimes, who tries to turn on it there, gets it away to Craig Morgan. Morgan puts it out in front. It's well defended, but they haven't given up on it through Michael O'Loughlin. Another Clare man out there. It's stolen back by NUI Galway. They try to guide it to Sean Kennedy, but the free in is given.
Yeah, again, look at a little tug of the arm on Conor Caulfield, and I suppose we see so much more of that now in the modern game, just tackling, the arm tackling, little grab, but right in front of Johnny Ryan, and an opportunity for Nyland just outside the 65 to open his account from the place ball.
Concannon is injured over on the far side, so running in there is Dara Burke of St. Thomas's. St. Thomas's, of course, reaching the All-Ireland Club final last weekend with a dramatic win against Rory O'Cushendall. Dara Burke of the Burke, I was going to say family, but I think it's fairer to call it a dynasty. A great weekend for them as well, because John Burke, who managed St. Thomas's to an All-Ireland in 2013, was involved in the backroom team under Jerry McInerney with Oran Moore-Marie, who beat Charleville in the intermediate final. Of course, Dara Fitzgibbon, part of that Charleville team, came off the bench and played really well for UCC on Tuesday night in that defeat, or that defeat of DCU to O'Cusharon. 6 degrees of hurling separation, there you go.
Yeah, and just tells you, I suppose, the demands on Fitzgibbon, early in the year.
So Nyland fancies this after a momentary pause. He's got the breeze at his back, but it's not a particularly strong one. Nyland, does it run all the way towards town? Yes, it does. And NUI Galway lead.
He's a really good player, Oisin. I think he's a guy that I think Micheál Donoghue he's maybe gets that bit physically stronger, is definitely going to have an interest in.
Kennedy looked inside for Ian Fox. Fox couldn't take it. Pouncing was Luke Meade of Cork. Now it's Colin O'Brien, also of Cork. Defender read it well to his credit. Skips it down the line. It was aimed towards Sean Loftus, but it was cut before it got to Loftus. It is still NUI ball. Caulfield loses it. Now it's Aaron Galan. Galan pops it inside. Trying to run onto it is Colin O'Brien. O'Brien winds up. And O'Brien levels it up. Good score, well worked. They turned over the ball magnificently well there.
Yeah, and I think Jeff Linsky will be annoyed about that one, because simple pass that Brian Concannon gave that didn't go to hand, it was spilled, and good pressure by Mary I, turned it over. Galan, lovely little pass out to Colin O'Brien, and made no mistake.
Shane Hennessy of Aero Ognina is in goal for NUI Galway, trying to sweep it on as Liam Ford of Ardrahan. 40 trying to pick it up, 40 as he's called. Another lovely little flick of the wrist there by Ford. He's got options. Beside him is Mikey Lynch if he can find him. He goes to the ground. Is he going to win the free? Turning it over brilliantly there is Seamus Downey, another man playing on home turf today. and clearing it is David Prendergast. And in the absence of Barry Collum this year, he's a player Pádraig Fanning, the Waterford manager, might be looking at. Hooban, brother of Dundalk striker Patrick Hooban. That's Paul Hooban, who delivers it down to Conor Whelan. Conor Whelan gets his first score of the game, and that is a beautiful strike as well.
Yeah, lovely score from Whelan. I thought he might have, turned in on his right hand side and narrowed the angle, but off his favoured left, tighter angle, but made no mistake. And again, that's him off, to a good early start as well.
Monaghan showing great speed. Will he shoot from there? He's boxed off by Caulfield, tries to get inside, does get inside. Off the stick it goes, and over it goes. This is sizzling nicely.
Have we hit a wide yet, Oisín?
He just jinxed it.
Yeah, again, quality play from Tom Monaghan, Thought again he might have taken a little bit too much out of it, couldn't catch it again, but off the hurley over the bar.
Another one of those skillful players on the Galway production line, which Jeff Linsky, the manager of NUI Galway, is very much involved with. Ball breaks for Grimes, but fouling was Seamus Downey, and it's a free in for NUI Galway.
Yeah, Ford is out centre forward. We're number 14. Conor Whelan on the edge of the square. Galway playing with two men inside, and Ford, a nice option to have on the puck out. Big physical player.
We talked about Conor Whelan before the game as kind of the big man in there, but Ford also can serve that role.
Yeah, and he gives him something different, and understands his role, I suppose, and showed physical strength there to hold off Seamus Downey and draw the free. And Nyland, will you imagine, will slot this one.
Nyland, over it goes. Reset again is the shout from the sideline. Breaks for Sheedy, couldn't hang on to it. Hooban tries to snaffle it up, but he's beaten to it by Monaghan. I was going to say throws it blindly, but that would have been very unfair. He knew exactly what he was doing to get it to Luke Meade. Meade towards the back stick. Might fall here for Gary Cooney. Swarming around is the NUI Galway defence, and getting it away is Declan Connolly. On the chase to try and get it back is Colin O'Brien, but he's beaten to it, and well beaten as well by Sean Loftus. Loftus has it flicked off the stick, but it went last off an Mary Eye stick, so it's a line ball to NUI Galway.
Yeah, and Declan Connolly did well under pressure on the edge of the square, rushing to clear his lines, and
that's twice now. They haven't looked at the ball, they're hitting Gillane.
He did well just to get it away to Loftus, and he'll take this line ball.
Loftus of Turlockmore. Great catch in the air by Craig Morgan, who surges out of defence and delivers a perfect ball to Michael O'Loughlin. Can O'Loughlin deliver a perfect point? No, he can't, and we've got the first wide.
Yeah, and a beautiful ball out of defence. Should really have scored out with Michael O'Loughlin. He'd be annoyed with himself. Relatively easy chance.
It's a line ball to Mary Immaculate College. Grimes goes over to take it. He was excellent last week when they met Cork Institute of Technology in the really fine conditions of Mary Immaculate College. I mean, the pitch there is immense. The facilities are amazing. It's just a college on the up at the moment, and they've had a great recent record in the Fitzgibbon Cup. They'd love to keep it going. Philip Hickey cuts it well. He was looking inside for Gillane, who was able to flick it on the second attempt, but there was no one there for him. And then falling over it is Loftus, and onto it is O'Loughlin. O'Loughlin missed the last one, and he doesn't catch that one right. I think he actually was going for a point and just misstruck it. Comes out to Colin O'Brien. O'Brien fumbles. Cold conditions out there, not perfect, but better than the last couple of weeks. Grimes delivers it inside for O'Loughlin. O'Loughlin trying to make a bit of space, make an angle. O'Loughlin does do that, and it's going to drop in on top of Colin Guilfoyle, but he couldn't get there. Well defended. Second wide for Mary Immaculate.
Yeah, again, Sean Loftus has probably made a couple of little mistakes now that, could have cost his team. Ran out over the ball there that he really should have picked, and nearly paid the price for it. And again, Michael O'Loughlin be disappointed that he probably didn't convert that chance. Had an option as well to lay it off to a runner inside, didn't. And Mary Eye second wide.
Grimes with a perfect catch. Gets it outside to Philip Hickey, who's dropped deep. Fitzpatrick read that like a book. Turns inside Colin Guilfoyle and gets it away. Just looks so comfortable while doing it as well. Over the hand of Sheedy, who couldn't get there. Mary Eye attempt to win it back to Downey. Downey does eventually gather it. Breaks past Sean Kennedy. That's a really good run by Gallan. Gallan with half of NUI. Galway chasing him, takes too many steps and gives away the free.
Yeah, good work again by the NUIG half forward line. You know, plenty of guys in pursuit, making him work hard for the Glen. Gilty taking those steps, and again Nyland is out. Probably has the aid of the wind, Oisín, so seems to have had plenty of distance in the previous one, so again this should be within his compass.
And we spoke about this before the game. He will land frees from everywhere, even if it's inside his own half.
Yeah, and the Raiders working so far. You know, he's 2 from 2, so this one just inside his own 65.
Nyland teeing it up. Nyland gives that one plenty of legs and it drops over the bar. That's a really fine free by Nyland.
Over the black spot, Oisín just had the legs but got there.
His second in a row. And now it's a 2-point game. Guilfoyle is the target. Fitzpatrick is stuck to him, does well again. Away it goes from Loftus. Grimes intercepts. Grimes couldn't quite get it on the go. The one thing that is catching the players, as good as the sod is, ultimately it is February and the ball just doesn't hop up for you as quickly as you'd like.
Yeah.
And it's another free. Now I wonder, does Nyland fancy it from here? There is a breeze. No, it's going to be Loftus. He'll go short. Concannon goes with the diagonal. Under it was Lynch. Now it's Sheedy. Partially smothered brilliantly by Ryan. Might fall for Whelan, but Mary I do enough. Here's Owen Ryan. Ryan down the wing. O'Loughlin tries to get there. Does, but couldn't make it stick. Over it is Hooban. Hooban, whose brother will be playing against Sligo Rovers in the League of Ireland on Friday night, gives away the line ball.
Yeah, again, Pearce have taken a knock as well just as he cleared that ball, so he's down receiving a little bit of treatment.
He's made of stern stuff, Paul Hooban.
Yeah, and that last free as well, you know, Whelan was 1-on-1 on side and had made a run, and opportunity probably to go long was probably the better ball than going short to Brian Concannon, and nothing came of it. So, you know, Galway will want to get him on the ball, you know, as often as they can, and ideally with him isolated on the edge of the square with somebody.
One of these momentary pauses like for players when they're in such an intense game as Hooban jogs on after recovering.
Well, it's no harm sometimes, Oisín, you know, just to get your breath, get your composure.
I thought Loughnane teams just ran all the time, even when they were stoppages. They ran just to prove to the other team they could run.
Modern game, Oisín, wouldn't have seen that 45-metre back pass to the goalie in my time.
Cal tries to aim it towards O'Brien. Breaks kindly. Caulfield dinks it over the top for the run of Nyland. He's well covered there. Morgan almost intercepted by Concannon, but they do get it away through Grimes. Cooney tries to turn on this. Connolly stuck to him. Cooney trying to get away from Connolly. Referee played a good advantage and it's a free in. Cooney knows every blade of grass here and did well a couple of weeks ago when he came off the bench against Kilkenny to score a point.
He's a good player. You know, he's been a prospect from, you know, the age of 13, 14 in Clare. He was, you know, a guy that had that kind of star quality about him, and you know, sometimes when you've those expectations on you from an early age, it doesn't always pan out that you'll go on and play senior for your county, but he's certainly on that path, and he's a physically strong player and dangerous.
He's ideal for the modern game as well, because sometimes you are coming up against packed defences and he can turn, he can get out in front and he can turn, he can create options.
Yeah, and he's, you know, physically strong as well, and you know, Declan Connolly would have his hands full with Cooney this afternoon.
Here's Gallan. Kind enough angle for him. And Gallan guides it over.
Yeah, no mistake, and Gallan will now just sit in maybe in four. Is he coming back to take his position the half forward line again? Yeah.
The game is absolutely flying by. Goes over the stick of O'Brien. Loftus tries to hoover it up and does. Loftus sees the run of Ian Fox. Fox from a tight angle on the terrace side. Hits it wide. And look how quickly that puck out was. Well, they were trying to take it quickly, but the referee is telling them to get back because I think there was players still inside the 20-metre line.
Yeah, and Mary just mixing it up now, calling it file out in the wing, Galan on the edge of the square.
They have 3 inside, Mary. I think they've realised that they were getting a lot of ball in but not doing the whole pile because they were outnumbered. Guilfoyle gets dispossessed, but his teammate is able to take it. That was good work from Downey, who throws it to Ryan. The target is O'Loughlin. O'Loughlin is stuck to by Andrew Graney. And NUI Galway get it away. That's a really good pass. Is it matched by a really good shot by Liam Ford? And that is just beautiful teamwork. And it's finished with a beautiful score.
That's a top-class score by Liam Ford there. I mean, again, I was wondering, should he have... Is this guy a shooter? Is he, big man? Is he just a distributor? I haven't seen enough of him, but, from the sideline, one look, bisected the post. I think Jeff Lynch can be very happy, Oisín, with, Galway's start. I mean, they're at it from the off, working hard. Probably good value for the couple of points that they're clear.
Mikey Lynch down at the moment from Kilnadima Leitrim. A Galway club, just to avoid confusion.
Not far from where I grew up, Oisín. Spent my formative years in Galway, so Kilnadima was over the road.
So what you're saying is you owe Galway everything?
Well, this is my loyalties now will be to the Maroon today, certainly, yeah. I met the Horst Regan on the way in, and
he's a Roscommon man, isn't he? I know he made his impact in Galway, but...
Yeah, Roscommon man, but great character, legend in NUIG or UCG circles.
And his son Tony Oak, desperately unlucky not to win an All-Ireland with Galway, played with them in 2012. And a very loyal servant to Galway, now a loyal servant to NUIG with whom he's coaching.
Yeah, good physicality there from Michael O'Loughlin. Good hard shoulder and turned it over. Galan now again off his left will probably fancy this one.
You can tell by the way he's placing that sliotar, he really does fancy this one. Galan winds up, gets the elevation, gets the distance, and gets the score.
Top class, Oisín, isn't it?
It's just a beautiful thing to watch.
And you just knew from Shane Hennessy's reaction, from the post, that this was going straight over his head.
Work with him, Evan, work with him.
Craig Morgan. I know it's Valentine's Day, but I don't think I can show enough love for that kind of skill. Philip Hickey. Intercepted by Loftus, but it had gone out of play. Stop-starty at times this game, isn't it? Loftus who's down, I beg your pardon. I think it's
Evan Island, is it? Yeah, just looked like he probably caught the follow through the Hurley. Just looking superficial. He's probably feeling it a little bit, but imagine he'll be back up on his feet in a second.
Good crowd in for this one. That's the terrace side you're looking at. Plenty under us here in the stand as well.
Yeah, there's one of the primary schools over there, so I'd imagine that there's a Mary I alumni decided to take 6th class out for the afternoon. It could be it's like possibly the Gale Skull over the road. Doing a lot of great work and hurling the football over there, Oisín.
This is a really good opportunity though for these kids to see top class hurling.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's probably one of the things that, as a teacher myself in the secondary school game, we probably don't get to see enough of these games with these guys in action at Fitzgibbon because they've been played midweek as it is.
Sheedy has plenty of options. Nyland is one of them. It's intercepted and brilliantly so by David Prendergast. Prendergast assesses the options. There isn't a whole pile there, so he just has to drop it down on top of Gary Cooney and hope for the best, but it skips out over the line.
Yeah, pretty just poor use of the ball, and Conor Sheedy has been on a bit of ball but hasn't really had the end product maybe that he or his manager would have liked.
Loftus. That is some line ball. And it goes under the hurley of Morgan. It might be swept up by David Prendergast, and is. Prendergast with the brick flick out to Downey. Downey juggles it to Philip Hickey. Philip Hickey. Off the stick it goes, down towards Galan. Again a misguided pass. Loftus intercepts. Loftus to Hooven. And Loftus was fouled, and it's a free out, and it was a bit needless by Guilfoyle.
And I think Johnny's reaching for the card here, so it'll be flashing a yellow here. Don't think there was anything too malicious in it, Oisin. I mean, he just
just a little silly.
Study his ground and knew exactly what he was doing, and the opportunity, I suppose, to put a hit in. But easy enough decision, I think, for Johnny. So Sean Loftus will be feeling that for a few minutes, but he's brought back and he'll go again. Yeah, I think Nyland will be, judging by the one Oisin earlier, there was just inside the 65. It barely made it. This is, a further 20 yards, 15, 20 yards back, and it could very well now be doing the dropping short.
We saw in Waterford on Tuesday night the importance of a long-range striker, Chris O'Leary. He did it from short range as well, obviously scoring that penalty at the end. Nyland gives this one everything. That's going to drop. Ball goes loose. Lynch has to go backwards. They couldn't get a clean strike away. Cleaned up very well by Ryan. Ryan trying to escape from Sheedy. Ryan down towards Guilfoyle. Hooban is with him, but Guilfoyle does well. So it's 3-on-3 inside. And he couldn't quite get to it, Gallant. And it's a free out. And they're getting frustrated, Mary Immaculate College. Colin O'Brien fouling on that occasion. It's not the first time that they've lost the ball or haven't got clean possession and then have fouled NUI Galway on the way out.
Yeah, and Jack Fitz did well just to flick that ball away and keep it away out from Glan's hand.
Hooban looking to drop it into the corner. Ford is trying to get there. Covered well by Downey. Good shoulder by Whelan. Turning, twisting. Looks inside, running in is Lynch. Whelan tries to squeeze it over himself and can't.
Would have been an outrageous score if he'd nailed it from that angle. Was trying nearly, I think, just to bend it in off his favour, off the right side, but probably should have kept that in play, I think, Conor Whelan.
Grimes. Downey drops it in on top of O'Brien. O'Loughlin, I beg your pardon. O'Loughlin looking for Gallant. Great catch by Gallant, and he's turned, trying to get away from Fitzpatrick, cuts inside and takes the point. And that's better from Mary I.
And that's Gallant at his best, Oisin. I mean, I don't think he didn't think about, what's the goal on there for a split second, but sensible option, just take the point. But this guy's playing with a lot of confidence.
6 points apiece. Broken well by Morgan. Morgan to Prendergast. Prendergast away. Gallant is the target again. Jack Fitzpatrick couldn't make it stick to the hand. Gallant has it. He's got a runner outside. That's Guilfoyle. Guilfoyle might be in on goal here. Guilfoyle is tackled to the ground by Andrew Graney. If it was football, the black card would already be out. Graney would already be gone.
Yeah, and Guilfoyle was in on goal, and listen, that's one of those ones that, you're quite happy to take the card, Oisin, and if he hadn't pulled him down, I imagine that would have been the back of the net.
They're beginning to turn and run, these Mary I forwards now.
Yeah, if anything, they just look a little bit slicker, don't they, Mary I? Just a bit more quality. Galway are fighting very, very hard and working hard, but Mary I just looked a little bit slicker.
Gallant gets his third score in a row, and he puts his team in front. Ball breaks. Grimes tries to get in there. Meade tries to get in there as well. Grimes turning and twisting, trying to get away from Concannon. O'Loughlin. Monaghan. Monaghan is sandwiched out of it. Down the line it goes. Morgan is out in front. Morgan doing battle with Lynch and now Nyland. Morgan wins it back. Meade has to be careful here. Guilfoyle skips it down. O'Brien trying to get past Graney, who has to be careful because he's on a yellow card. Meade really has to sprint after this. Kennedy chasing, but the referee has spotted something there. Maybe it was a tug or a foul on the way down, but
Yeah, just I think Andrew Graney just had a little pull, was it?
I think so, but he had a quick word with Graney, who was walking across him, but Graney has to be very, very careful now, the Crockwell man, because he's on a yellow card, as we've mentioned. And now he's kind of marked himself in the referee's mind. As a cornerback, you want to hide. You don't want the referee to know who you are.
Ideally not.
Not that I'm speaking from experience, James, you understand. All us cornerbacks were all clean. Gallant from a tough angle. The last 3 points in this game have all come from him. Can he make it 4 in a row? Pulled it just a little bit, it's a wide.
Yeah, and it's one of those ones, Usher, when you're a left-handed free taker, you're kind of worried about the ball tailing away to the left, and you know, so your starting point is usually the right-hand post, and he just overcompensated a little bit. Be disappointed with that one, but that's one of those ones that's quite easy to miss. Trouble here now for Mary I if they can get it in, but they don't.
Concannon is fouled and it's a free in, and it's a cheap one to give away as well, because Concannon was well covered. He 3 around him.
Yeah, but if he could have got that ball away out of the tackle earlier, there was no one inside the Mary I 45, and you know, someone coming, making that run from deep, that could have been in.
Mikey Lynch is off, Dara Burke is in.
Yeah, the NUIG half forward line just struggling probably a little bit. The last 10-15 minutes, you know, Sean Kennedy has been out on the middle of the field now.
Wide is the shout from one of the players, but it wasn't. It went over, and Ireland levels it up yet again. Scramble on, and it's won by NUI Galway, but intercepted by Luke Mead. Mead swats it to Gallan. What a lovely little flick of the wrist that was. Gallan makes it look effortless, but that is supreme.
Now we know how good he is off the left, but just proof and evidence there that he can do it off the other side as well.
He's having a whale of a time out there today.
And Liam Ford, Oisin just could have picked up that ball and pulled on it loosely and just gave possession away, and Mary I made them pay.
Brown tries to escape the shackles of Nyland. O'Loughlin tries to get there first, but he's beaten to it. Wouldn't quite fall for Conor Caulfield. Crossfield ball. Grimes is going to run onto it. Oh, he couldn't just quite take it. Concannon trying to get the ball back. Grimes not giving up on this one. Concannon does really well to roll lift that. Nice hand pass to Sean Kennedy, who's been relatively quiet so far. Kennedy puts his team level.
Great score and great work from Brian Concannon. You know, just did well to win the ball in the first place, and you know, slipped the pass to Sean Kennedy. Sean from Cameli out the road here in Clare. Past people mine of Flannan's good, genuine, honest lad, and tons of hurling as well. His father was a really, really good player for Kilmaley, and Clare won that Ireland junior medal, I think, with Clare back in '92, and you know, top quality score again from the middle of the field.
Now, the bad news for NUI Galway is that Ian Fox is down.
Yeah, it looks like he might have rolled his ankle, Oisin. This, you know, hopefully he'll be able to run it off.
Just looking down on the bench, they don't seem to be in too much of a rush to get someone on. Mikey Lynch, who went off a couple of minutes ago, is holding his ankle actually on the bench as I look down, so that's probably
he hobbled off, so may very well have been an injury.
They're enjoying their day so far.
Yeah, I mean, just would love to see if you know, NUIG just try to get more ball into Whelan.
Cahill launches it. He was looking for O'Brien. Here's Ford. Ford flicks it on for Loftus. Loftus has trouble picking it up, and he's barged by Hickey. Referee lets it go. And absolutely swarmed is Colin O'Brien.
And Philip Hickey is down in a bit of distress on the sideline. I think it was
cleared by David Prendergast.
He's up again. So looks like he's okay.
Gallan Will Galan go for it from there? He will. It might drop, there's danger, but it's well handled by Shane Hennessy. Hennessy gets it out to Conor Caulfield. Hooban, good stick pass, excellent stick pass. Ian Fox guides it over towards Conor Whelan. There's danger anytime he gets the ball and builds up ahead of steam, which he's doing now, but it's well defended by Brown, and Whelan loses out and Ryan takes the possession. Now it's Morgan. Morgan tries to get away from Whelan. Now trying to get away from Sheedy.
Yeah, Whelan's hurl definitely held there. Thought Johnny Ryan might blow the free, but he didn't.
Monaghan sees that it's 2-on-2 inside. Guilfoyle is surely tugged to ground there, and that's a penalty because that was in the square. Normally, or sometimes, a fullback will get away with that kind of jostling, but Johnny Ryan spotted it with his eagle eyes.
Yeah, Oisin, again, look, they were both probably grappling for position, but just a bit too blatant by Jack Fitzpatrick.
If you put your arm around the front of the player and tug and make it obvious for the ref,
yeah, and it was just
you make it easy to give away the penalty.
And it was too obvious, and in fairness to Colin Guilfoyle, he probably went down, didn't try to hold his position, quite happy to be thrown to the ground, and you really put your money on Galan in this position to finish it.
So Galan in injury time in the first half. He's had an absolute stormer so far.
It's be a turning point in this match, Oisin, you feel. It's a crucial stage in the match, and a card to boot for Jack Fitzpatrick. So two of the Galway full back line now on yellow cards.
Galan against Hennessy. It's a big moment. Will we get our first goal of this Electric Ireland Fitzgibbon Cup semi-final? Galan! In it goes. It wasn't the most sweetest strike in the world, but it doesn't matter so long as it goes in, and that's exactly what it does.
Yeah, and Shane Hennessy, when he'd be pretty disappointed because it wasn't the purest of strikes by Galan, but it was low, probably straight down the middle, to be honest about it. And the last places was Shane Hennessy was expecting him to put it, and it managed to worm its way under him and into the back of the net. And big fill-up for Mary I just before half-time.
Cork's Brian Buckley is coming in for Philip Hickey. That kind of happened while the penalty was being struck.
Yeah, and he's clearly caught. You'd wonder, even with the helmet, he's picked up a nasty little knock.
Well defended by Downey, who just got a touch on that, guided it to Morgan. Morgan goes backwards to David Prendergast. Prendergast squeezes it into the new man in Buckley of Cork. Buckley, Guilfoyle probably could have gone for it himself there. Looked uncertain as to what to do with the ball.
Could have, yeah, definitely.
Nyland, we know what he's going to do. That's a fine score by Nyland, and they really did need that.
Yeah, just the difference is Oisin, indecision at one end of the field. Nyland, none whatsoever. Got the opportunity, one look, and straight over the bar. And again, an important score for Galway just on the stroke of half time.
Mary Immaculate College 1-8, NUI Galway 9 points. Jamesy, what have you made of it so far?
Yeah, look, it's been an even Steven, really, apart from the goal, Oisin. Mary I probably looked that little bit better, that little bit more polished, that little bit slicker, as I said earlier, but Galway are working very, very hard. And listen, it's still all to play for, still very, very little between the two sides. Again, I suppose it may well come down to who can get the key players on the ball in the right area, and on the edge of the D or inside the D with a bit of space, because Whelan certainly is. We know how dangerous he can be, and he hasn't really had that many opportunities. Limerick have probably, or Mary I have probably had the better of those kind of half goal chances, or where they've asked questions. Obviously, one penalty and could very well have had a second. When Andrew Graney pulled Colin Guilfoyle down for what would have been probably a good goal chance. So. But I think at the same time, there's a lot of positives for Jeff Linsky. They're still in the match. They'll probably have the aid of the elements in that second half, and still very much all to play for.
NUI Galway, well, I don't know if they're going to need a goal, but they haven't looked a goal threat so far.
They haven't really. Mary I have probably played again with a bit of a sweeper. That someone is back there, not too far away from Whelan, that they don't want obviously him isolated one-on-one. With David Prendergast or Darren Brown, whoever's picking him up at that point in the match. And again, if you're Jamie Wall, you'll be quite happy, as you said, that Galway haven't really looked like they've engineered a goal chance in the first 30 minutes.
Okay, so it's half time in the Electric Ireland Fitzgibbon Cup semi-final. You just saw the NUI Galway management team going back into the dressing room. I wonder what they'll have to say to their players. It's not like it's a disaster for them. They're only 2 points down, but it's fair to say that Mary Immaculate College have been the better team for the last 15 minutes of the match. Still 30 and maybe more to go. Mary Immaculate College 1-8, NUI Galway 9 points to score at the break. Now, I guess playing in the Fitzgibbon or Sigerson Cups is all about coming together with people who you'd normally be against, as in players from opposite counties playing together. That's exactly the case with UCC's Sean O'Shea from Kerry and Cian Kiley, who is from Cork. They could well be marking each other come the summertime and the championship, but they've got one common goal and one common aim, and that's to win the Sigerson Cup. Of course, they're in semi-final action this weekend in Mallow. You'll be able to watch that game with us, but it's not to say that they can't be a little bit rivalous, if that's even a word, when they're together in their college. We set them a couple of challenges to see how they got on.
Usually we play for the same team with UCC, but today it's different. It's Cork against Kerry, Rebels against the Kingdom, Cian against Sean. We all know who's going to win this one.
Oh, hold on.
Go on. On. Come on, Johnny, bye. Come on, give up, come on. I'd say form's perfect, is it?
Some moments teach you all you need to know about yourself. The Electric Ireland GAA Minor Championships. This is major.
Happy Valentine's Day. Welcome back to Ennis. It's the Electric Ireland Fitzgibbon Cup semi-final. Mary Immaculate College leading against NUI Galway at the break, 1-8 to 9 points. Of course, the winners go on to face UCC next week in Waterford. UCC dramatically getting through their semi-final last Tuesday night against DCU Dochashare. And James O'Connor, formerly of NUI Galway and of course twice an All-Ireland winner with Clare, is watching this one with us. James, what have you made of it so far?
It's been a good match, Oisin. Even Stephen for the most part all the way through. Obviously the goal came, the perfect time for Mary I, just heading into half time. But I think that last point by Evan Island, for NUIG was important, just for them psychologically heading into the break. So very little in it. It's 2 points in a hurling match. Goals going to be crucial, and Mary I have looked probably the side more likely to get them in that first half.
Hasn't exploded yet as a contest, has it?
It hasn't really. It's been a little bit stop-start. Players picking up maybe little knocks and injuries. Obviously Glan and Nyland have been pretty accurate from place balls, and it's certainly not the high scoring shootout maybe we thought it might be. Given conditions are pretty good, the pitch is pretty good, but that's, I suppose, credit and testament to the defensive, I suppose, work by both teams. Both sides are working hard, both half forward ends working hard, and players aren't getting that much time on the ball. So yeah, yet to really explode into action, and maybe we need an early goal, hopefully from Galway or NUIG at the start of the second half.
let's take one right from the book of sporting cliches. Semi-finals are there for winning, and sometimes they're tight, sometimes they're tense. Is that what's happening out there tonight? Or today, I should say?
To an extent, maybe, because I mean, UCC would probably be favourites heading into the final. You know, given how I suppose impressive they were last week. Because DCU, obviously, we know how loaded they were. I mean, just look at the players that came off their bench. So, semi-finals are for winning, Oisin. It's about getting to that final, and once you get there, well, then anything is possible. And Mary I have the pedigree. You know, we know that. We know they know how to win these big games. But listen, it's still all to play for. As I said, it's 2 points in a hurling match. It just takes one moment of magic from Whelan or Nyland, and I think it's imperative for Galway. You've got to get the ball into the hands of either of those two guys, because if this game is going to be won, if there's going to be a goal got, they're the guys likely to do it.
You've mentioned Nyland, you've mentioned Whelan there, and yeah, they're important players for NUI Galway, but any time that they have got the ball in or around the 20-metre line of Mary I just always seem to have an extra defender back or a dogged defender there to stick to him. How do you get past that if you're NUI Galway? How do you make it work for you that maybe someone's running off the shoulder, or there's another option apart from Whelan and Nyland?
Yeah, well, again, I suppose, like, there have been a couple of instances where, there has been space inside, where Whelan or whoever the inside has been in the inside Galway line has gone out the field, but it's when you get that ball, then the runners have got to be coming, and it's got to be laid off quickly. And there was one opportunity, I think, where I don't know, it was a Concannon, had the ball, there were runners coming off, and he just got tied up, and the Mary I defender did a good job of just wrapping him up, and it came to nothing. So yeah, at this level, I suppose, to break the defence down, someone's got to produce a bit of magic. Someone's got to slip the pass at the right time, maybe break that first tackle, and the runners have got to be coming. But listen, with Conor Whelan, he just needs one ball. He's got the physical strength to shake off a tackle, and we know, he's capable of finishing.
Okay, well, as you can see, Mary I are back out onto the park for the second half. 1-8 to 9 points is the score at the break in the Electric Ireland Fitzgibbon Cup semi-final. The second half in full, live shortly. Stay with us.
Some moments teach you all you need to know about yourself. The Electric Ireland GAA Minor Championships. This is major.
Joe, did I give you back that pin in the slips?
Yeah.
NUI Galway joining us for the second half of this Electric Ireland Fitzgibbon Cup semi-final. Lots of well-known faces in the crowd. We just bumped into Davy Fitzgerald, Micheál Donoghue, the Galway manager, Cyril Farrell, the former Galway manager, and of course Sunday Game analyst here as well, Tommy Guilfoyle. They're all in to watch some quality hurling. And look, Jamesy, it hasn't been as good as the semi-final on Tuesday night so far, but there has been some real moments of quality.
There have, yeah, and some really, really good scores. As you said, it's just probably been a bit stop-start, Oisin. Hasn't had the flow maybe that you'd like, but listen, still all to play for. 2 points in it, and 30 minutes now to decide who meets UCC in that final next weekend.
UCC are waiting. Who are they going to meet? Trying to barge through is Kennedy. Kennedy pops it off for the run of Dara Burke, and Dara Burke hits it wide.
Yeah, just again, good defending. Just got that little touch on the hurley, enough to divert it and put it wide. I think Brian Curry as well is on for NUIG in the middle of the field.
Galan runs onto it, turns his man. This is real danger for NUI Galway. Galan, he's done it from freeze, and he does it from play yet again.
And that's what you want your big names doing, Oisin, in the Fitzgibbon, you know, the bread and butter stuff, winning the hard ball and then showing his class.
He's now on 1-7 for the game. A little bit of a tug of the jersey there from Downey. He's got to be careful. It's pulled on by Liam Ford. Whelan's onto it, trying to get around Brown. Whelan is brought to ground by Brown, and that has to be a yellow card.
Yeah, and again, that's what NUIG need to do. Just get the ball in early to Whelan, and Liam Ford just whipped on it. Good ground ball in, and Darren Brown now on a yellow card. It's the last thing you want, given the questions that Whelan is likely to ask. Did he actually book him, Oisin?
I don't think he did.
Yeah, he's lucky to he's dodged a bullet there.
Nyland queuing it up. This to bring it back to a 2-point game. He was never going to struggle from there, was he?
Substitution on the NUIG team. Number 2, Andrew Grady, has been replaced by number 19, Brian Corrie.
Brian Corrie is in. He's in for Graney, who was on a yellow card and had committed 1 or 2 little other fouls as well. So he was a marked man by the referee. Going to ground there was Conor Sheedy, and the free in goes to NUI Galway.
Yeah, I mean, in fairness to Conor Sheedy, he probably knew he was going to maybe take a belt there. Just got there, whipped on it first time, took the belt and went a free for his side, and Nyland coming out to take it.
The breeze is kind of swirly again.
It's more across into us where we are in this stand, Oisin. It's wonder, is it favouring either side? It's just
Nyland.
Yeah, and as I said, he was probably felt it was. As I said, the breeze is right across the pitch. He probably aimed at that left-hand post, and it just stayed out there and never came back.
Tough to strike it from distance. Here's Luke Meade of Cork, improving all the time. Luke Meade. Grimes inside towards Guilfoyle. Guilfoyle against Fitzpatrick. It's one of the battles of the match, and that one goes wide off the hand of Guilfoyle.
Yeah, and a lovely pass from Galan again, across the Thomas Grimes, and probably should have put that one over, but Colin Guilfoyle, could have made something of it as well. And Galway will be again quite happy to see that ball going wide.
At times, both teams are maybe trying to be a bit too slick. Sometimes you just have to take it on yourself.
Yeah.
Downey. Ryan. Good block by the stick of Corrie from 6 Mile Bridge. And one of his club coaches is here to watch him today, Davy Fitzgerald. Stealing away is Dara Burke. Strong as an ox, slips it out for the runner, and that runner is Evan Nyland. Whelan's inside. Can Nyland pick him out? He's absolutely surrounded. Pops it back to Kennedy, but he just overcooks it, and Grimes is there to intercept.
We spoke about half-time, Oisin, about, how they're going to get a goal. Well, that ball just needed to come across earlier to Whelan, and Evan Nyland just took a little bit too much out of it.
Gary Cooney tries to break onto it. Guilfoyle gives him a hand. A ball neither man had a right to win, and now they don't. Ian Fox takes it, gives it to Loftus. Loftus down the wing. The aim is Whelan, but Whelan might be beaten to it here, and is. Grimes tries to tidy it up, throwing his body on the line is Concannon. Grimes kicks it, but to Nyland. Diving block by David Prendergast. Popped out to Concannon. And the referee gives the free in. Luke Meade is not happy.
Yeah, and I think Brian Concannon might well have picked that ball off the ground, and I think that's why they're. But the linesman had a pretty good view of it. I'm sure he'd have given the call to Johnny Ryan, and he hasn't, so Nyland will get a chance to atone for the last free he missed.
Maybe it's a little harsh to say that NUI Galway are hanging on in there, but Mary I seem to be the better team, but they're just not getting away from them. They're not making that scoreboard tick enough.
Yeah, just NUIG just having to work that little bit harder for their scores. I think that's a fair analysis, Oisin.
Nyland, who doesn't mind hard work. Last one went wide, this one right over the black spot.
Yeah, and he took a little bit more care with that one. Again, it was that crossfield breeze, you know, isn't making it as easy for free takers as would otherwise be the case.
Replaced by number 20, Sam McArdle.
McArdle of Clarendon Bridge in Galway is in for NUI Galway, replacing Ian Fox. Owen Cattle goes long. Bounces into the path of Loftus. Swatted it up to Connolly. Loftus stayed in just about, trying to get away now from Luke Meade. Good hook from Luke Meade, but it does fall for Nyland. Nyland, has he drawn that back in? He has, you know, and that's his best of the game.
Yeah, class score. Just wondered would it come back in, and it just tailed inside the post. But again, you know, good play by Sean Loftus and good play by Concannon. Laid a lovely ball off him coming up the line. Credit to Luke Meade, he got a really good hook in and just fell fortuitously for Nyland, and lovely finish though.
The levelling score. Kennedy looks for Whelan. Whelan shows an awful lot of that to Brown, but does gather it. Whelan showing the football skills. Kennedy. It got caught between two, and Grimes takes it.
I think NUIG just trying to be too smart there with themselves and ended up, you know, with nothing out of a good opportunity.
Swept up well by Connolly. Away by Kennedy. Intercepted. Guided up to Gallan. Gallan shovels out to Cooney. Cooney partially blocked. Did really well to get there, McArdle. Meade goes after it. Hooban under and between the legs of O'Brien. Hooban drives out of defence. Hooban on the half volley, can't keep it in play, and it's a line ball to Mary Immaculate College. It's really intense out there. It's a battle zone.
Yeah, this is real Fitzgibbon stuff now, and this is what you'd expect now. I mean, you know, just heading into the 8 minutes in the second half.
Dara Peters lining up the line ball. Nyland has got the last 3 points in a row in this game. 2 from frees and that absolute beauty from play. NUI Galway on a bit of a scoring run, having come in 2 points down at half time. Trying to flick it up with the stick as Connolly. Now it's Monaghan. Monaghan brought to ground by Hooban, free in. Referee is ticking him. Has a quick word at Hooban, who just shakes the head and said, yeah,
it's one of those ones where Johnny's thinking, will I, won't I produce the yellow, and he gets the benefit of the doubt.
It gives Hooban a little bit of a warning. Here's Gallan into a awkward breeze more than strong breeze, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, but it's always easier for a left-handed free taker than gushing from this side of the pitch. You know, you can just bend it in off that right-hand post. Natural tail of the flight of the ball. Not one you'd expect you to miss, certainly.
Rises it well, finishes it well. And Mary Igo back in front.
He looks to have got even, you know, physically stronger from last year, Gallan, and it's been a feature, I think, of the Limerick players, you know, in 2019, that they just look like they've really got stronger and better conditioned than even they were a year ago.
Speaking of strong and good conditioning, here's Liam Ford, flicks it for Kennedy. Hooban. Surely a hold of the hurley there by David Prendergast. The referee has spotted it. It was on Nyland, and it's a free in.
Yeah, Nyland knew exactly what he was doing there, you know, kind of played for the free. And I mean, listen, like it's, you know, this puts them back level again, and they're staying in this game. They're fighting for every ball.
Okay.
And this looks like it's going to go to the wire, Oisín.
Nyland lining it up, looking for his fourth of the second half. That's straight as a die. And it's not easy. It looks easy, but it's not easy.
Yeah, they're probably just struggling a little bit to get scores from open play, and you know he's got to keep nailing those frees. And
Ray McCormack is in for Mary Immaculate College. Going off is Michael O'Loughlin, who's worked hard today, but McCormack brings a bit of extra height, so that more direct ball will be available. And here he is, straight away. McCormack, Tipperary bulldozes through, pops it off. He couldn't quite gather it on the stick there, Dara Peters. Hubin, Hennessy, clever clearance to Loftus. Loftus runs onto his own breaking ball. Inside it goes, gathered by Burke. Burke from a long way out. That's going to drop. Owen Cahill of Offaly. That's perfect delivery, but it just wouldn't fall into the hand of Colin O'Brien. Now in to take it up is Sean Kennedy. Both teams working really, really hard, at times cancelling each other out, at times it's not a great spectacle, but it is intriguing. Here is Grimes. 2-on-2 inside, now more cover comes over, but it's still caught. It's O'Brien. Good block by Fitzpatrick. And that's why we talked him up before this game. And of course the game against UCC, which we brought you live a couple of weeks ago. NUI Galway didn't perform particularly well that day, but Fitzpatrick did well at fullback. Falling over it is Downey. Gathering it is Morgan. Clearing it is Brown. Luke Mead is the target. Luke Mead takes it. Mead back to Galan. Oh, Galan fumbles, just took his eye off it. Guilfoyle tries to help him out, but getting in the way brilliantly is Sam McCardle. Then it's pickpocketed by Guilfoyle. Down the line it goes to Mead. Mead pops it off to Galan. Galan, does he have goal on mind here? He's got O'Brien inside. He goes for the point himself and takes it. Should he have gone inside to O'Brien though? That's the question.
yeah, and I still thought he fancied it. He would have kept going, maybe just taken another step or two. But again, I think if you're on the Galway side, and you'll be quite happy. And hey, chance here at the other end now. Sheedy, real chance.
Whelan's making a run. Sheedy says going. That's easy for the keeper. Oh, but he's lost it on the second attempt. It might fall for Nyland, who pulls on it. Just couldn't get it through the crowd. Sheedy didn't give up on it, to be fair. Followed it in, tried to create the chance. This is always difficult for a referee. These kind of scrambles inside the square.
Yeah, and the Mary I sideline here just screaming, kill the ball, and someone just needed to stand on it, and that's what they did. And that was a chance for Conor Sheedy. And which, listen, Owen Cahill is top class. Ada County goalkeeper. One of the rising stars, I think, in the game. A really good player, and Conor Sheedy probably isn't going to beat him from that distance. But they had a 3-on-2.
Not with that kind of shot anyway.
No, and I just thought he just needed to try to go to his right, maybe try to draw one of the defenders and get the pass away, maybe to, I don't know, was it Concannon, and Whelan was certainly in there, but the cover, to be fair, was closing, and maybe felt the heat and thought he had to get the shot off, but might have been better served putting it over the bar, or just taking it that little bit further in and trying to maybe get the ball into the hands of maybe Whelan or Concannon.
So we'll get another battle zone here. That's generally what happens when the referee throws in a ball like this. Grimes jostling away with Dara Burke. In it goes. Getting the ball in hand, always so difficult in these situations. Sometimes you're maybe just better off kicking it out and hoping that one of your own players runs onto it. Concannon tries to shovel it away. Guilfoyle was over it, now it's Grimes. Grimes with no room to operate in. I hope he's not claustrophobic. Oh, he's given away the free, he overcarried it.
Yeah, and 5 Galway players around him, punching the air. They're not going to go down and easily, and so you wouldn't expect anything less. And it's a big turnover, and Nyland are going to knock this over and put them back level again.
It's been the Nyland and Galan show so far in this second half in a scoring sense. They're the only two to have got their names on the score sheet.
Yeah, this was, you just have to look at this is what they've been doing in the previous rounds to figure that that was possibly going to be the case today, and both playing well, both at the top of their games now.
Nyland levels it up. We had extra time in Waterford on Tuesday night between UCC and DCU Dokasharon. Will we have extra time here in Ennis today? They try to drop it in on top of Brian Corrie. Corrie tries to roll lift it into the hand. Comes out to Hooban. Hooban down the wing. Really good take by Ford. Ford inside. Smart pass. Is it going to be a smart finish from Dara Burke? No, he pulled it.
Yeah, and he knows it. Great chance. Lovely ball across by Ford. You know, perfect pass. And Dara Burke will be annoyed with himself. It was one he really should have converted.
Weather getting a little bit darker. We had sunny skies when we arrived in Ennis today. Hopefully the rain will stay away. That is a fantastic catch by Galan. And Galan is fouled on the way through.
This guy proving that he's well able to win his own ball, win primary possession, and he's going to be he's going to be someone, Nusheen, that this summer that Clare, Cork, Tip Waterford, Liam Sheedy, Donald Maloney, Jerry O'Connor and John Myler and co, they're going to have to plan for this guy, because physically stronger, playing with the confidence now of having done it in the big stage. And
Galan to put Mary Immaculate College back in front, which he does.
And they've become very dependent on him, Oisin. I mean, you said it's Nyland at one end but Galan at the other.
Burke, fantastic catch, fantastic leap. The aim was Whelan. It's intercepted by David Prendergast. He is ambushed. That was really strong work by NUI Galway. Speaking of strength, Conor Whelan. Now Nyland. Nyland from play squeezes that one through the post.
Brilliant score, Oisin. Again, it worked very, very hard for them. Great tackling again there by the NUIG forwards.
They're matching each other point for point at the moment. Both the colleges and Galan and Nyland. It's a bit of a personal shootout between those two. Here's Galan. Mead. What a beautiful set of wrists he has.
Yeah, and we haven't seen that much of him today, but indicative there of what he's capable of, and came at an opportune time.
Worth the strike!
Every point so important here, as we saw on Tuesday night. That's a fantastic catch. Sheedy's on his bike, chasing after Moan Ryan. Sheedy. Wide.
Yeah, I mean, great catch.
Sheedy's protesting, he thinks that's over. Guilfoyle is the target this time. Guilfoyle couldn't make it stick. McCormick tries to get over it. Monaghan. It's 2-on-2 inside and more help arriving. It might break for O'Brien. O'Brien trying to kick it into space. Galan there as well. Over for NUI Galway, Declan Connolly. Falls for his teammate, then he loses it. Now it's Guilfoyle. Guilfoyle. Desperate to get it in hand, but Hooban just will not let it happen. Here's McCormick. McCormick slips away. McCormick! What a block that was from Fitzpatrick. Comes back to Guilfoyle. And they get something from the attack. They were looking for a goal. They've got to settle for a point.
Yeah, great bit of defending there though by Jack Fitzpatrick. At full stretch, did well to get a block on that, and Colin Guilfoyle popped the rebound over the bar, and Mary I probably happy to get something out of it.
And for the first time in the half, Mary I put 2 points back to back. Mead and Guilfoyle
saw the run.
Concannon jogging onto this one. Morgan blocking his route, so he's going to go for it. Just planted his feet and got under it.
Great
he
score.
lobs it over. Really good score.
And again, it wasn't easy. There was pressure in his defender around in his face, but good score.
So a 1 point game yet again. Grimes hasn't really had the chance to shoot in this game. Might fall for Cooney. Cooney chips it over. Good score by Cooney.
Yeah, Galan just showing his physical strength. Knew that Cooney was in behind him, that he just needed to to tie up Jack Fitzpatrick, just let the ball over his head, and Cooney doesn't miss those.
Cork Sean Burke is warming up for Mary Immaculate College. He's about to enter the fray. He's another big man. You can see what the aim is here, because they know that if they can get big men in there and win primary possession, they can certainly create the scores. That's what they've done in the last couple of minutes. Burke tried to guide it out to Whelan, couldn't find him. His fellow Galway player. Grimes receives. Grimes goes backwards and it's blocked down. Darren Brown, no, he wasn't blocked down, he did get it away. O'Brien, Hooven does well. McCormack stuck to him. Falls here for Dara Peters. Peters trying to find a way through, pops it off to O'Brien. O'Brien has Cooney in front of him, but he chooses to slot it over himself. Second point of the game for Colin O'Brien.
Yeah, and three clear now. Crucial now for NUIG that they, they get the next score and don't allow this lead to get any further than 3.
Shane Fletcher comes in. He is the joint captain of NUI Galway. He replaces Sean Kennedy. 3 between them now.
Protect the ball now.
Huge gap in the context of this game. And keep in mind, there is only 9 minutes to go. The Electric Ireland Fitzgibbon Cup, 30 minutes a half as opposed to 35. Johnny Ryan makes the right call and says, I'll just throw this in.
You just sense that Galway need, NUIG need a goal rushing to win this from here. It's
might be a temporary substitution for Dara Peters. He's got blood coming from
Brian
Buckley goes back in. He gets some game time in the first half.
Number 19, Brian Buckley, plus sub. And also on the Mary I
Colin
team,
O'Brien
number
is done
12,
for the day. He's
Colin
being replaced by
O'Brien.
Sean Burke.
He's been replaced by number 20, Sean Burke.
Johnny Ryan just says, look, you have to go back. You have to clear the battle zone here. But no one wants to take a step back, and now someone's going to go into the book. Yellow card for Burke and for Monaghan. 2 Galway men on opposing sides today. The definition of first-class rivals. Taken into the hand by Brian Corrie. Corrie trying to get away from Guilfoyle. That's not easy to do. Does manage to pop it off. Out it goes to the wing and Sam McCardle. McCardle looks for Ford. He's found Ford. Ford will go for this. If it goes between the posts, it's a 2-point game. But it doesn't, it's wide.
Yeah, wrong option, and he had Shane Fletcher outside him and probably should have just popped it out. Tight angle, tricky breeze.
Cahill, who's got lots of big targets to aim at now, including Gillan, who was running for it. Meade went for it, lost out. Concannon into the corner. Conor Whelan is scarpering after this one, but stuck to him is Darren Brown. Whelan does manage to take it. He's got Burke inside. Burke! Good stuff by Cahill. Almost kicked it into the net himself. He's still struggling to get it and eventually wins the free. That could be a huge moment in this game.
Oh, yeah. I mean, listen, he was inside. Darren Burke inside in his own. Whelan, didn't think he'd seen him. Spotted him. Perfect ball across, and he just needed maybe to take an extra second and maybe take it a little bit closer to make sure. And, Owen Cahill, great stop. Just wondered again, had maybe he nearly fumbled it behind the line, but and as he was coming out, Dara Burke just a bit of a swipe and clear free. Mary I player now down is something off the ball here, so again it's just taking the sting out of the game, and it's just playing into Mary I's hands with the clock ticking down. Just only 5 minutes plus whatever additional time Johnny Ryan allows.
I'm not sure what Johnny Ryan saw. It was off the ball. We were looking down at the goal because there was action there. It's Monaghan who's down. He's getting back up. And he'll continue on.
Yeah, but that was a chance, Oisín, and there's a brilliant play by Whelan. You know, did really well to win the ball in the first place. Two Mary I defenders hanging out of him, and did unbelievably well then to pick out the perfect pass. And they may not get an opportunity better than that.
We did say at half-time they'd probably need a goal. They've just missed a chance. Here's Guilfoyle, head down, straight at it. Didn't catch his shot right.
Yeah, and he could have got that ball as well. There was a man inside.
Good interception by Owen Ryan. Comes to Luke Meade, who doesn't get the chance to run. He's taken down. It's a free. And Mary Immaculate College will be in no rush to strike this. They're trying to get Dara Peters back on. He's been stitched up. He'll go again.
Yeah,
number 18, Filipiki resumes his position on the Mary I team.
Just a softish free. Again, made the decision easy for Johnny Ryan, and Gillan will take all the time he needs now, you know, to put Mary I 4 clear.
Not sure if Tom Kingston, the UCC manager, is here today. If not, I'm sure he's watching at home. But I wonder what he's making of what he's seeing. It looks like it will be Mary Immaculate College and UCC in the Electric Ireland Fitzgibbon Cup final, but there are still maybe some twists to come in this game. Gillan will try and make it that bit safer.
It's an important free now, 4 points. Big lead in a day like today.
Gillan sends it away. And it lands between the sticks.
Yeah, he's shown a lot of leadership today now. He's been really, really good for Mary I.
4 points is a chasm in this game. Dara Burke takes it, pops it off, trying to sidestep through is Fletcher. Fletcher looking for Concannon inside, but it does fall for Nyland. Flicked off the stick by Grimes. Whelan wants it, Ford carries. Free in. As we say, NUI Galway not done yet. No Jeff Linsky team will ever give up.
Yeah, just counting them there, there's about 10 Mary I players within 30 yards of their own goal, and you know they'll funnel players back now and just quite happy to concede the free. And again, valuable seconds coming off the clock. We'll be nearly 58 minutes gone. Be maybe 3-4 minutes max, Oisín, you know, so
we haven't had
clock
too many stoppages. We've had a few, so you get at least 3 minutes, I'd say. But so this to narrow the gap to 3, presuming he takes his point. He does. He has been unerring today.
Substitution on the Mary I team, number 13, Gary Cooney, is being replaced by number 19, Brian Buckley.
So Buckley's in, Cooney's off. Hasn't really had the chance to show what he can do today, Cooney.
Yeah, a couple of good scores. Instead of a guy, I think we'll hear more from this guy going forward.
Oh, we absolutely will. Gillan is fouled. It's a cheap free. Hoodman knows it.
Yeah, and again, you know, showing real physical strength there, rushing to win that ball. I mean, Paul Hoban Hoban isn't a, you know, is not a small guy. Gillan just wrestled him and, you know, won the ball and was fouled.
Don't forget, reaction to come after the game. And more analysis from James E. O'Connor. This to restore the 4-point lead for Mary Immaculate College, who have a relatively short journey back to Limerick after this. Actually, NUI's journey is pretty short as well since the motorway went in. Gillan puts it over.
There will be at least 2 minutes of additional time.
2 minutes of additional time. NUI Galway need a goal. They've had chances, they haven't taken them. Concannon, Loftus, good block by Luke Meade. He does the skillful stuff, but he does the hardy stuff as well, Luke Meade. John Myler must light up every time he sees this guy plays, because he's going to be such a central cog for Cork. Nyland tries to get it away. Monaghan steals it back, falls back to Owen Ryan. Ryan shuffles it, but only as far as Concannon. Concannon tries to find Nyland. Nyland with an old school ground stroke, and it works out. It comes to Whelan. Whelan, like a raging bull. Whelan, his foul advantage is coming. The free in will come.
Yeah, so listen, they're four down. You know, they still need a point. If he's well off just to put this ball down, put it over, and
well, we're now into the, was it 2 or 3 minutes? I can't remember, of injury time.
the ball, man, Luke, face the ball. Let's get the ball and kill it, okay?
Nyland's standing over it. He'll probably just pop it over, narrow the gap to 3, and then hope they get a goal chance. That's exactly what he does. It's down to 3, and we're deep in injury time. Don't expect Owen Cahill to be in any rush to puck this one out.
Yeah, this ball, you know, 2 men over on Glen may very well be coming out on Colin Gilfoyle on this side. You know, big man, big height advantage.
As a goalkeeper, do you just go short and keep possession? No, probably not, because NUI Galway have pushed right up.
Yeah, down top of Gilfoyle, yeah, just wonder who's under it.
Might break for Monaghan. No, it comes into the hand of Loftus. Loftus is bottled up. Monaghan tries to get it into the hand. This will suit Mary Immaculate College to just keep it on the ground, keep it down there, bending his back to try and get it to Sean Burke. Squirts out, comes to Sheedy. Sheedy got a goal the last day. They could do it one now. Winning that foot race is Brown, but he's going to be pressurised by Whelan, who just hits him with the perfect shoulder. Whelan has got a runner inside. That's Ford. Can he find him? No, he goes across. He's looking for Nyland.
What a ball. Oh.
David Prendergast with the catch. It might be a match-saving or match-winning catch. Monaghan's onto it, but he's dispossessed by Loftus. Loftus drops it inside the square. He knows they need a goal and they're running out of time. Falls kindly for Owen Ryan, and anywhere will do for Ryan, but he couldn't get it away cleanly. Now it's Seamus Downey. Downey can't get it away. Here's Ford. Ford has to just chip it in and hope for the best. Concannon is in there. It's directed away from goal. Here's Loftus. Loftus winds up, and it's deflected. And the referee says free out.
And it was it finished in the net, Oisin. I mean, I think Ford put her into the net, but Johnny Ryan called for a square ball. But Liam Ford did really well there initially, just to, you know, I mean, brilliant ball across from Conor Whelan. I thought, you know, it was over David Prendergast's head. Nyland in behind. Prendergast at full stretch made a fantastic catch. But
is that the last chance for NUI Galway?
Yeah.
It was. And Mary Immaculate College will face UCC in the Electric Ireland Fitzgibbon Cup final. The final score here in Ennis: Mary Immaculate College 118, NUI Galway 18 points. That's a heartbreaking defeat for NUI Galway.
It is, and I mean, you know, went down to the wire, and as I said, you know, Johnny Ryan, though, experienced referee, this was decisive. Look at probably a square ball. Liam Ford maybe in the square, but you know, I think, look at Jeff Linsky, the Trillibody's team. They were honest to the end, fought it out to the end, never dropped the heads. But I think the better team won, and you know, there's enough quality in that Mary I team to think that they'll really put it up to UCC at the weekend.
Okay, well, NUI Galway are out despite their efforts. Mary Immaculate College march on. What a fine couple of years they've had in Electric Ireland Fitzgibbon Cup hurling. We're going to get more analysis and some reaction after these.
Some moments teach you all you need to know about yourself. The Electric Ireland GAA Minor Championships. This is major.
Usually we play for the same team with UCC, but today it's different. It's Cork against Kerry, Rebels against the Kingdom, Keane against Sean. We all know who's going to win this one.
Hold on.
Go on. On. Come on, Johnny, boy. Come on, give up, come on. That's it, form's perfect, is it?
Welcome back to Cusack Park in Ennis, where we've seen a dramatic Electric Ireland Fitzgibbon Cup semi-final. The final score, Mary Immaculate College Limerick 118, NUI Galway 18 points. Aaron Gillan, scorer of the goal from a penalty, scorer of 1-6 in the first half, and I lost count in the second half. First of all, what's your reaction to getting back to the Electric Ireland Fitzgibbon Cup final?
It's obviously over the moon, like, you know, it's what we set out our stall for at the start of the year, and just delighted that we're there now again.
That was some battle, wasn't it?
Twice, sure, we expected it. Like you see, the last day, we knew there weren't going to be no pushover. Like, they beat the two best teams in it, really. They beat UL and then they beat LIT. So, geez, we weren't taking them for granted. And look, they definitely came out and put in a show anyway today. Just thankfully got over the line.
What was the difference between the two teams today?
A goal. But other than that, I don't know. Just two teams worked ferociously hard, like, and I don't know. Maybe we got to look at a draw today. I don't know. Maybe if it was a different day, they could have beat us. But I'm just delighted. Yeah.
It just goes to show the experience and I suppose hurling smarts in this team, that you were able to see it out. I mean, there was times where ball wasn't coming easy, but you created the options, you ran at them when it was on, you passed when it was on, and I don't mean this as an insult, you won the frees when it was on, as in you drew them into fouls.
Yeah, look, I think that was just, we had our head screwed on from the start. Like, in the second half they put Sean Loftus back as the sweeper, and we all know he's a outstanding hurler, but you know, some days that could have phased some teams. But look, we grew into it, we worked around it, and thankfully come out the right side.
What does this mean to you? Because you've done it at the highest level, you've won an All-Ireland, but this, I can tell by your reaction, means an awful lot to you.
Yeah, of course. Look, I'm in college with some of the boys there the last 4 years, and they're friends you'll be with for the rest of your life, hopefully. So in a sense, it's like playing with a club team, and everyone knows how much the club means to everyone, not just me. But no, it is great, and hopefully we can go one step further now. But geez, we won't be taking UCC for granted anyway. Yeah,
that'll be a tough one. I'm not sure if you got to see them on Tuesday night, but it's shaping up to be a nice final for the hurling neutral. What's going to be like for you guys facing UCC?
I should look, we're going to come into every game the same way we have, take everyone the exact same. We'll go back training probably Tuesday and assess them and probably set out our stall in, and hopefully it'll get us there.
Yeah, looking forward to it, I'm sure. Aaron, well done today. Congratulations to you and Mary Immaculate College. A fantastic display by Aaron Gillan today here in Ennis. We're going to get some more reaction probably in a few minutes, but Jamesy O'Connor is going to join me again here. Jamesy, I think Aaron spoke very well there, and you can actually tell what it really means to him to get to a Electric Ireland Fitzgibbon Cup final.
Yeah, and listen, it doesn't matter, you know, whether you talk to the past generation, the Tommy Welches, the JJ Delaney's, the Brian Lohans, or the current generation. This competition matters, and you know, these guys are in college with each other, they're living with each other, you know, they'll cross paths maybe with different counties, and this is the one opportunity when they get to play with guys from Clare, Limerick, Galway, whatever. And but listen, you know, I think that the better team probably are in the final, and as I said, they'll be a handful for UCC.
I'm not being rude, I'm looking around because I'm looking for Jamie Wall, who is going to join us in just a second. His team, Mary Immaculate College, back in the Electric Ireland Fitzgibbon Cup final after a battling display here in Ennis. 118 to 18 points the final score. Jamie, I'll go to you. Come here, well done today. How's the heart after that? Because that was pretty tough watching.
Yeah, not bad. No, still there, grand. It's small bit cut for words, like, you know. But look, semi-finals are about winning, and we got over the line today. As expected, I'd say it probably wasn't the prettiest to a stop-start, but that's just the nature sometimes of a game where you've got 30 players that are, you know, that are giving what they're giving, that you're going to have that stop-start nature because lads are hitting, like, there's ferocious tackles on either side. Like, I mean, look, I wouldn't say NUIG's work rate surprised us, because I've seen them twice in the Fitzgibbon live, and it is phenomenal. It's their main trait, you know, like, they're a serious outfit in terms of what they give is so honest, and they drive into you. And, like, you know, I spoke to you last week in Mary I, and I said that, you know, in Mary I we have a real kind of family vibe, and I said I name dropped NUIG as one of those colleges that have that, and they always have, you know. So look, it's a massive test for us. We're delighted to be over it, and you know, we have a final now against UCC next week.
We can hear the singing coming from the dressing room. This means an awful lot to your players. It wasn't just a hard working display by your team though, it was a smart display, especially in the second half.
Yeah, it was. Look, I mean, I said this to you last week, you know, they're smart hurlers, and they're good hurlers, and you know, you try to give them a structure and some semblance of a plan, but realistically, you know, you work with what you have, and you don't get an awful lot of time, so you are kind of relying on just the fact that they're really good players, they're really smart players. They will invariably use the ball well, and they try to do that. You know, I think you've Owen inside in goal from Offaly, and I mean he took over last year as Offaly's number one after a long-standing goalie there, and he's gone straight in and he's been a huge success there. I mean, we're blessed to have him. He manages the game so well from goal, and I think it's something that over the last 12 months we've seen, with Limerick in particular, the way Nicky Quaid manages a game, the way Limerick manage games. I suppose that's the kind of benchmark, and I suppose our guys are a lot of inter-county players, a lot of aspiring inter-county players, they're invariably going to play smart, so while on the sideline we'd love to take credit for a smart display. I think you have to give the credit to the boys more so than us.
Look, I know a lot of focus will go on Aaron Gillan, and after today's display, probably rightfully so, but he is a leader. He does lead by example. How important is that to have a guy who's won what he's won, who's done what he's done, who has the hype around him that he has? How important is it to see him out there doing what he's doing, especially for your other players who maybe kind of follow his lead?
Massive. Look, Aaron is a born leader. He's we made him captain to start of the year. He's a standout choice. He's just, he played so well today. He played so well against DIT. In the intervening games with, say, Maynooth and CIT, other guys were after stepping up, and it was almost like he kind of just stood back and let them shine but we know, like his clubmate Keane a few years ago, last 2 years in finals, when the game was there to be won and you needed a guy to step up, he just showed them leadership qualities. Look, it's something that we know he has. You don't be in with Limerick the way he's been, winning All-Ireland, be an All-Star nominee, unless you have those traits, and he certainly does. And I suppose it's massive for us that when the game is in the melting pot, your leader stands up and he leads, and he doesn't lead by roaring and bawling, he doesn't lead by shouting, he leads by just winning a ball, winning a free, sticking it over the bar, and that's the real kind of leader,
Just before I let you go, it's UCC in the final. That will be, to pull one right out of the GA cliche book, a massive battle.
Yeah, exactly. Look, I mean, UCC they've been excellent all year. They've beat UL, they've beat DCU. They probably go in with slight favourites tag. But look, that's the nature of sport. We went in with a slight favourites tag today, and square ball decision at the end for us went our way. And otherwise, you're going to.
What was your view of that, honestly?
I couldn't see it from here, not to go Arsene Wenger on it, but I was fairly far away. I was just delighted when I heard Johnny's whistle go before the ball was pulled on. So I'll probably see it tonight now on YouTube, and I'll have a better view. But thankfully, Johnny's whistle went, so that was all that mattered.
Jamie, well done today.
Thanks much. Thanks a million.
Congratulations to you and Mary Immaculate College. We will see you for the final. That's going to be live on TG Cahir, by the way. You'll be able to check it out. And we'll have lots of build-up across the Electric Ireland social media channels, and of course on GAA now. Jamesy, just before I let you go, it's Mary Immaculate College against UCC in the final. That's going to be some game in WIT, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I mean, probably the two best teams in the competition, and Mary I will probably go in as underdogs. DCU obviously and UCC had an epic encounter the other night, but listen, this is a 50-50 game, Oisin, and Mary I have enough quality to really put it up to the Cork guys, and they have to be at their best to come out on top.
Today, did we see in so many ways what the Electric Ireland Fitzgibbon Cup is about?
I think we did. I mean, you just see the reaction of the players afterwards. I mean, I think it says a lot about Gillan, that he's obviously won the ultimate prize last September, but he really showed, I thought, massive leadership today. I mean, I think he finished at 112, obviously got the goal, but it was what he did off the ball, the winning the dirty ball, the selfless passes, taking a bit of punishment, and as he said, look, they're like a family, and this means a massive amount to them, and they fought for each other today. And it's a credit to Jeff Linsky and the Galway guys as well. They asked all the questions, and we came really, really close, as Jamie said, to extra time at the bitter end.
And it will be interesting to see that incident back at the end, the disallowed goal for NUI Galway. You can watch this game back almost immediately as soon as we wrap up, but it is Mary Immaculate College who have won here in Ennis. They are through to the Electric Ireland Fitzgibbon Cup final. They will play UCC, and that's going to be quite a game. 118 to 18 points, the final score. My thanks to Jamesy O'Connor, who was on analysis all day, and my thanks to you for watching. We will see you soon. Happy Valentine's Day.